بشرحلي صدري يسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Okay, let's get started. Now we are discuss what is prose. What is prose in literature? In written, prose is a style used that doesn't follow a structure of rhyming or meter. Rather, prose follow a grammatical structure using word to compose phrases that are arranged into sentences and paragraphs. It used to directly communicate concept ideas and stories to a reader. Prose follows an almost naturally verbal follow of writing that is most common among fiction and non-fiction literature such as novel, magazines, or journals. Types of prose: non-fiction prose, fiction prose, prose poetry, heroic prose. Non-fiction prose, what is this? Non-fiction prose is a body of writing that is based on factual and true events. The information is not created from a writer's imaginations that rather true account of real events. This type can be found in newspapers, magazines, journals, biographies, and textbooks, and a friend. The Die of a Young Girl, for example, is a work written in non-fiction style. Fiction prose. Basically, fiction prose, unlikely non-fictional, fictional prose is party of wholly created from our writers' imaginations. The events, characters, and story are imagined, such as Romeo and Juliet. The adventures of Tom Sawyer are brief. New word. That type is found as novels, short stories, or novellas. Heroic prose. What is this? Heroic prose. Heroic prose basically is a work of writing that is meant to be recited and passed on through oral or written traditional legends, mythology, fables, and parables are examples of heroic prose that have been passed on over time in perce- perseveration. Prose poetry. What is this? Prose poetry. Basically, poetry follows a specific rhyme and meter structures. These are often lines and stanzas within a poem. Poetry also utilizes more figurative and often ambiguous language that purposefully leaves room from the reader's analysis and interpretation. Finally, poetry plays that space on a page. International lines breaks, negative space, and varying line lengths make poetry a more aesthetic form of writing than prose. That, for example, the structure of this why be coming. Observe his use of piece and aesthetics as well as metric structures in the poem. E. Cumming may be one of the more stylish poet when it common to use of base space, but poetry is different in structures and practice than prose. Prose, what is this? Prose follows the structures that make use of sentences, phrases, and paragraphs. This type of written follows flow more similar to verbal speech and communications. This makes it the best style of writing to clearly articulate and communicate concepts, event stories, and ideas as opposed to the figurative style of poetry. From the example, you can see how the words follow more conventionally than poetry is more directly with what information our meaning is being communicated more that you understand the difference between poetry style book. Let's look at the four types of prose. Okay, do like, shares, and subscribe. Thank you.